I was craving some coffee, so I decided to have a little bit of midnight coffee. And hopefully, you guys are having a great day. Whenever you see this video, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I just wanted to make a video about how we are constantly evolving as humans. We're constantly developing and changing and accepting those parts of ourself, moving through life, working with spirit, working with our perceptions of particular situations. Um, it's all part of life. And so some of you are going through some moments where it's a little confusing maybe for you. Maybe you've got a lot on your plate. And I just want to let you know that you're not alone. It is warm here in Florida. I love my coffee. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, and just really knowing that sometimes we have people in our lives that are going to come in and maybe stay with us for a season and teach us lessons, or you will feel that they're teaching you lessons. And I always want to remind you that sometimes we ask, why did this happen to me, or why did this person come into my life, or you're questioning yourself about things that have happened to you. And I just want to remind you that we are creators. We are creators of our own lives. We are co-creators with God, with the universe, by our choices that we make, by the decisions that we put into action. For us, and that's the main thing, is taking the action. We could absolutely do nothing. We could sit and watch YouTube videos all day. You could hear me talk, and you could listen to me talk about random subjects on my channel, as I do. And I know I made some videos that showed a little bit of my travels, and hopefully if you know about my channel and you've watched other videos, I did post some traveling videos where I had gone to Asia, and that was a 42-day trip. It was a long trip. It was it was a great opportunity to go and see how other people live, and it has opened my eyes. I feel like I was moved there in that time, that particular time in my life. I was going through some personal issues, personal relationship issues, and I wasn't moving. I wasn't moving out of that situation. And maybe some of you have been in that situation where we think it's a coincidence. We think that we are put in a particular situation, and you go kicking and screaming about it, but then you realize maybe a month down the line, maybe 6 months down the road, or even years later, that everything happened exactly how it's supposed to happen. Everything was in perfect alignment with where you are now. So some of you have gone through that, and you could probably relate with that. And maybe if it's not right now in your situation, maybe it was years ago, or maybe it was months ago. But looking back, we can reflect on how we've evolved through our life circumstances, our major changes in our lives, whether it was going to school and graduating, or meeting your partner, getting married, maybe having kids. Each step we are guided. I feel that we've been guided to take these particular roads, and what you feel at that moment, where you are in maturity, in every level, every aspect of your life, and also through experience. Maybe you chose this path, or you made this decision, a particular decision based on a past experience, and that's how we build on it. That's how we develop. That's how we create our life. So, you always hear we are the creators, and I just made a video about how we are creators of our own reality. And sometimes this is an unconscious thing where we're making decisions, and maybe it's impulsive decisions, or it's the best decision for that moment for ourselves from what information we have. And again, that is just part of life. And I'm going to have some coffee because I love coffee. And I just want you to contemplate on what I just said about making those choices and evolving, maturing, and deciding what's best for you. And a lot of you have made many, many choices, and some people make choices based on what others have told them to do, or get advice, or have counseling or therapy, and go by what other people say, because maybe you can't make that decision at that point. Maybe you're under duress. Maybe you're grieving. Perhaps it's just not, you don't feel safe using your own intuition, or maybe you don't feel like you can trust your intuition at that time making that decision. And it's interesting where I could look back on different aspects of my life where I was moved, sometimes physically moved, out of a hunch, out of this desire to change things in my life. And hopefully I'm making sense. Hopefully this is resonating with some of you, and everyone's different, so it's going to pertain to different parts of your life. But we've all been through these crossroads, these different paths where we had to make a choice, or maybe the choice was very quick. Some of you make decisions very quickly, and there's not a lot to ponder over, and you make decisions and you feel that that decision is the right decision. And then so there's some of you that have made decisions and feel that possibly that decision was a mistake, or it was the wrong decision, and you feel like had you not made that choice, your life would be different. But I'm here to remind you that we have these different timelines, we have these different potentials, and you could always redirect where you're going, your path, where you feel that if you go down this road, there's no other choices. But I'm here to tell you there's always choices. You could always redirect your life. We're always developing, we're always changing, we're always evolving. And nothing's set in stone. I want to remind you. And there's people that believe in the fates, and they believe in destiny. But we also have free will. And so I'll do a quick example. If you grew up from maybe an impoverished area, and no one in your family had gone to school, so based on that information and your past experience, or your family, the generations prior to you in your family, perhaps that's embedded in your mind that no one went to school and um, I'm going to follow that same path. And at that moment, that's a choice that you make. And that's just one example. Someone could choose the opposite. Say everyone in your family had gone to school and they went to college and everyone had that opportunity to go, and you follow that path because everyone else did. Or maybe you're the one who breaks that pattern and you decide to have your own business. So we create our lives, we evolve, we are doing it, and maybe we're not at that moment aware of it. But when you get that awareness that every choice and every decision that you're making is in fact creating your life, that's when we can actually start to mold our story to our liking. Some of us stay in patterns that we feel we can't get out of, we can't break through. And if you take that time, that self-care, that self-reflection, that introspection, and that's why meditation is talked about so much, is taking that quiet time, that time where you're still, you go within. Because, let's face it, everybody's busy all over the world. Everybody's busy being busy, or just pretending they're busy. And some of our tasks and obligations are, important for sure, but sometimes it's just the busyness of it. And the biggest gift you could actually give to yourself is giving that time to yourself, that time to invest in yourself and to love yourself, to do self-care and see your self-worth. There's many of us, and I feel that many of you who watch my channel have a lot on your plate, on top of taking care of everything else. And sometimes it's just you taking care of everything. And although we like to help others and we can help people, and it's a good thing, and it can be a good thing, it could also be something to your detriment if there's not a balance. Some people, I feel right now, feel like they can save people who have health issues. Maybe some people that you deal with every day have addictions, or maybe there's someone in your family, a loved one, that has this imbalance, this addiction to whatever it may be. It could be alcohol, food, drugs, watching too much of something, or indulging in another thing. Whatever it could be, it's not, I want to say, you could only help someone so much, right? And I'm not talking about just helping people every day. Some of you, I feel, are in a situation where you help to the point where it's becoming a burden and it's heavy on your heart. And then that in turn can affect you physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And God has given everyone free will. Everyone can take care of themselves, even those that have had some misfortune. I have had family members that have had illnesses, and some of us are almost the caretaker, and I know a lot of you take care of elderly parents, or you're close by, or you're the one sibling that checks on your parents or your parent or that family or that neighbor, that family member or the neighbor, because no one else is doing so. I just want to remind you that you are putting out good energy, and I'm very proud of you. It's good to put good energy if you're able, and I know you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart to help others. But just remember to have that balance, and you can't stop your own evolution. You don't want to have to take care of others, and there's many different situations, but where that person can also learn to live with their live with their either disability or their illness. Of course, like I said, we're here to help, but if you're understanding what I'm saying, there has to be a balance, because things like that can affect you, and we want to keep on evolving and learning more about ourselves and who we are, our abilities, our spiritual gifts. Some of you have amazing spiritual gifts, and maybe instead of developing and working on those gifts, you've put it aside, you've put that development on the back burner because you spend so much time taking care of others. And Spirit is saying that the gifts were given freely by your Creator. And when you develop your gifts, and only you know what your gifts are, I feel that some of you have amazing gifts that are dormant because you just haven't had the time to use them. And that's such a shame, because we're all here to use our gifts, and it could be something as simple as listening or learning more about a particular area. It could be in the physical world, it could be in the spiritual world, it could be in the emotional world, it could be in academics, it could be learning about anything, whatever, and even in the arts. If you wanted to learn how to paint or make candles or learn about small engines where you could fix your own tractor, that probably would have helped me a lot. Maybe I'll still do that. But there's so many resources we have to keep on evolving, and this goes for every aspect in your life. Just like sometimes the people that come into our lives that either, again, I believe that we either teach people lessons, we're there to teach people lessons, or they're there to teach us lessons, or both. Or also, sometimes we're there to do both, and others can see you as that example. So other people are learning from your experience. Let me have some coffee. I'm not going to make this very long, but I just want to put that out there. If some of you have seen some of my travel videos, I want to let you know that those travel videos were made when I was going through a pretty bad breakup. And that was just in November and December. Very toxic relationship that I had been in. And I was moved out of that situation. I actually went to go travel with my mom and my aunt and uncle, and we went to the Philippines. I hadn't put that, I believe I put some shorts out there. Internet was very difficult to upload. I hadn't really started posting on my channel until March of 2024, when I went through this spiritual awakening, this ego death. And I've I'm aware that everyone goes through a healing journey, hopefully, or they choose to go on a healing path. And I, at that time, didn't realize that was what I was going through. I was going through a healing because I was deeply involved in a very in a situation that was not serving the highest good. Let me just put it that way. And in these 7 months, seven to 8 months since I've taken that trip, I've learned so much about myself. I know I haven't really put everything out there. I've talked, some of you who have been watching my journey, you could probably go back and see the videos and the energy of, if you could read my energy, of how my videos were and my tone of voice back then. So hopefully you could tell that I'm still, moving through and doing the work. You have to do the work, especially if you've gone through difficult situations, betrayals, people who did not have the best intentions for you, because that's where they are. That's where they were, and of course we can't control other people's journey. We could put it out there. It's really none of our business about other people's journey, and sometimes we're not there. We can't be the ones that are going to help them through those journeys, whether it is they're going through their own karma. And I know a lot of you love these people, or their family members, or they're people that you've worked with for a long time, people that you've known, people that you've had in your immediate circle, in your life. And sometimes it's not our place to interfere as part of the evolution, to be able to discern that and to connect with spirit. So I'll talk more about that, and I will talk more about my near-death experience. I know someone had asked me to talk more about my near-death experience, and I have mentioned parts of my story through several videos. I haven't marked them, so sometimes it's hard to wade through those videos where I talk about it. But all of those experiences are instrumental on the content I put out, the person I am now in this moment, what I present to you, how I put myself out there. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes, just like you guys, it's hard to discuss or talk about things because a lot of the times I do things in private, or I just don't want to be in that energy. I want to put my focus on doing better, or helping others, or helping those that might have gone through the same thing that I've gone through. So, so if you're wondering why I have a lot of videos of my travels, and they're mainly shorts, my travels through Asia, it's because I wanted to show you how I have moved through my healing. And some people go to therapy. I'm not a medical professional. I'm never telling people what to do. Sometimes you maybe you need to go seek counseling. My journey brought me to a different country, my home country. Well, I was born in the States, but my parents' home country, the Philippines, and we visited many provinces. it was a wonderful trip. And then we took a cruise ship to, 6, 7, 8 different other countries. So you'll see that on my shorts. But this was all part of the journey. It actually worked in a way to keep me, to take me away from a very toxic, abusive situation where there was no respect, there was no I was dealing with someone who had a very bad alcohol addiction, and I was in a position where I felt and had gone through trying to help, but that exhausted me. I was actually, my health wasn't great. I look back at pictures from that time, and I wasn't healthy at all. I was taking on other people's burdens, and I just want to let you know that we have ways, or God has ways to help you evolve your spiritual team. This is, to me, without a shadow of a doubt, a spiritual, what happened there, and getting blessed by a Hindu monk, and going up Batu Caves, climbing the stairs, seeing such beauty, meeting people from all over the world, and talking to different people. And of course, I can't cover all that, and there's no way to replicate that on this video. And I'll talk more about that, but don't give up, especially for those that have been in relationships or are in relationships that you feel trapped. Some of you have been in those situations before. Perhaps you're in one right now where it's not good for you. And if a situation were different where you can leave, you would do it. You would jump on that. You would jump on that train right away. Some of you have been in relationships for a long time, been married 25, 30, some of you 40, 50 years. And I'm never telling anybody what to do. I just believe that you have to do what's right for you, what you feel is best for you. And if you could leave in those situations, whether it be a work situation or a romantic relationship, a friendship that's toxic, I'm going to commend you, because that takes a lot of courage to do so. And if it's not you, perhaps you have a sister or a brother or a friend or a parent, someone that you definitely know is going through something similar, where they're in a relationship where they're not being respected, they're being gaslighted, they're being talked down to, they're being betrayed, and all the things that can really cause damage and trauma and hurt and pain. And we all deserve love. You deserve love. Everyone deserves love. Some of us are a little bit more, just based on your personal experience. Sometimes we have to heal some of the traumas and the wounds in order to function in a more balanced way in relationships. So I just want to put that out there. This is a tough subject because it's very close to my heart. I not only have I gone through it myself, and I've hesitated to talk about it, because again, I didn't want to put energy into my experience, but it's so important that if my experience can help someone out there, then I feel led by God to put out the information. Wow, that was not a bug. To put out that information. So I will do this probably more on a different video. That's how much I feel comfortable with right now. And I hope that it's kind of tough sometimes to share this, information, even though, you guys are probably used to my quirkiness if you're still watching this video. But I'm going to finish my coffee, probably watch a little bit of, I probably should be reading a book, but hopefully this video will inspire you to keep on evolving and to keep on learning, and know that you're worth so much, and that you are loved, even if you don't feel loved by your immediate environment, by people in your immediate environment, people at your workplace, in your own home. Maybe you don't feel appreciated, but that's why I always talk about self-love, self-care, self-worth. You got to be your own cheerleader, you really do, and you can make it through. And if you could make it through what I've gone through, and I'm not a victim, I will say that I was naive. I'll take accountability for that. I've learned to take accountability for a lot, because I was of the mindset that everyone had good intentions, and I know that sounds ridiculous, right? I mean, I should know better, but when you love with your heart, and you make a commitment, and you keep your heart open, and others abuse that or take advantage of that, sometimes we have blinders, right? And sometimes people wear masks. Where I'm at is I'm learning forgiveness, and I want to share positivity. I was just talking to a friend of mine. Well, he's like a brother, and we were texting back and forth, and just not. I'm not going to get into his story, but he went through something similar, probably about 20 years ago. So I know his whole story, and he wrote, he texted me. He's like, yeah, it feels sometimes it's hard for him to not want revenge, and maybe some of you are feeling that way. Maybe that's where you are in your timeline, in your story. And that's totally natural, depending on what's been done to you or what you feel, other people, how they operated. It's natural to feel that way. It's natural to be angry anyway. Not sure about revenge, but like to be upset when people hurt you, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Again, everyone's story is different, but that's what part of my journey is going through these emotions, so that we can be balanced and healed, and we could be on that road to forgive others. And I know some of you are going to say, I don't want to forgive that person, I don't want that person in my life ever again. And that's okay, that's where you're at. But for me, I always want to be at peace, and have the heart open, because we're here to love as well. It doesn't have to be with people that have done you wrong, okay? But just be at peace, and know that you are evolving, whether you're aware of it or not. Just don't stay stagnant, and think about how you want to be treated and how you treat others. So I'm not going to keep on pontificating. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whenever you see this video. Cheers. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.